Ladies and gentlemen, the play's the thing. With your host, Judy Sleed. Special guest, Blossom Gluck. Now here's Judy.
Doesn't that sound wonderful?
It sounds terrific to me.
He does such a good job, Lee Davis. So I have a very nice guest today, this lady. I've known you for about a year now, Blossom, and that's a very unusual and pretty name. Is that your real name?
Everybody seems to ask me that question.
I wonder why.
And the truth is, it really is my name. I was a twin, and my twin died, but I was 2 pounds, 2 ounces, and in those days, they didn't have, I was the first baby to be put into an incubator with an oxygen tent. And fortunately, I'm not blind, because they later found out that it caused blindness. But my parents were afraid to name me because they didn't expect me to live. So the nurses in the hospital named me Blossom because I blossomed, of course, ever since I've had a weight problem. But that's how I got.
It's a wonderful story.
That's how I got the name Blossom.
So
You didn't expect that.
Your twin didn't make it.
No,
at
and
birth.
the twin was 4 pounds and did not make it. But that was a very long time ago. Medicine wasn't as wonderful as it is today.
Yes. So, and where did all this take place?
This all took place in Brooklyn, where I grew up. I got married. I lived till I moved out here.
In Brooklyn?
I lived in Brooklyn.
In what part of Brooklyn?
I lived in Mill Basin.
Mill Basin.
Mill Basin, it was a new...
I thought I knew all parts of Brooklyn.
Well, it's sort of the tip of Brooklyn. It's waterfront property. It faces the Marine Park Bridge. If you come over the Belt Parkway, you'll see it. It's just before the Marine Park Bridge. And the Jamaica Bay that's there goes out into the ocean. So it's a very pretty... It was a new community when I moved in, probably in the middle 60s. It was a brand new community, you know, with houses like Long Island, split levels, more traditional ones. We had a waterfront house and a boat and a beach and, a lot of amenities that you don't expect to find in Brooklyn. But it was far away from
Is it still there?
Yes, it's still there, very much so.
And it's still called the same name?
It's still Mill Basin, yes. Yes.
Well, see, live and learn.
You live and learn.
Because there was a time I lived in Brooklyn in many different areas, but I never heard of that one.
Okay.
But I know Belt Parkway. I used to go visit my cousin who lived in Canarsie, and
my husband's a physician, and his office was in Canarsie on Remsen Avenue.
Oh. See, all these things I have in common with my guests once I get to know them.
Well, Mill Basin is sort of between Canarsie and Flatbush, except there's a body of water that separates Canarsie from Mill Basin.
There was a time I lived in Flatbush.
Okay.
As I said before the show, I lived in many, many places. So you went from getting born to the time you got married. What happened in between?
I went to high school, I went to college, I went to Beaver College in Jenkintown, Pennsylvania, and then I got married.
And what was your major?
My major was early childhood education with a minor in art history. So that's where I come to my involvement with the arts.
So before you got married, before you even went to work any place?
Well, I sort of retired when I got married.
Oh, you already retired?
I just retired when I got married. I was going to go to work, but I didn't.
That's, so, okay. So what kind of art are you involved in now?
Well, I'm a docent at the Parish Art Museum in Southampton, and I'm a docent at the Jackson Pollock and Lee Krasner House in the Springs.
And what is your function?
I give tours. I do many of the Saturday tours. At the parish, we have the first Monday of the month, the seniors, and we have every Saturday at 2 o'clock. So very often I give tours.
And how often do you
The
work?
Pollock House is by reservation and needs to be paid for in advance, but if you call up, they'll make the arrangements. And during the summer, they're probably a couple of times a day.
You know, I've never been there.
You've never been to, you have
No, I'm going to have to
to.
come.
It really is a piece of history. And you know, it's been declared a National Landmark House, which is the highest status an institution can get. And it's funded and run by Stony Brook. I mean, the foundation, Stony Brook is the one that runs. And of course, Helen Harrison is the director. And it's really a very worthwhile place. You'll feel good when you come in.
I passed it many times.
Really?
But
It's
I
not
just-
a place that I would ever pass. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I passed a lot of places like that I've never been to. It's just one of those things. I go a lot of places, and I
well,
always
they're
say,
closed now, or I would personally invite you. But we open in April, and I will be sure to invite you on the first tour that I do.
Great, I will. You're going to have to call me
I
because
certainly will. I have your
I
number.
forget so many things that if people don't call me, I forget to go. It is just, you know, there's so many things out here, and I'm involved in so many things that I just realize, oh, today's Wednesday, and I forgot to go someplace Tuesday night where I really wanted to go.
It happens to all of us.
So the museum and the Pollock House, and you said arts is. Are you really actively? Are you doing some sort of art? Or
I
you
used to paint, and I had a show at the Brooklyn Museum, and then I retired from that.
retired.
It just didn't really suit my personality. I became obsessed. I couldn't get out of a nightgown. I couldn't live. I couldn't get out of a studio. I mean, if I was in a painting mode, I had a young family, and I'm too compulsive a person to. I couldn't put the brush down.
Well, that's a good sign. It means that you are really, that's in you. You want to get it out. So do you still have any of your paintings?
I still have some of the paintings, but I don't paint. I haven't picked up a brush in years.
Oh, what a shame.
It is a shame. Sometimes I'm sorry, but sometimes I want to, but I don't have
Tomorrow.
the time. Yeah, it's always tomorrow. I play golf instead.
Oh, you do? Well, that's healthy.
I enjoy that.
And so you got married and you raised a family?
I have two wonderful sons. They're both married, and they both have two wonderful daughters. I have a granddaughter in college,
Wow.
and I have a granddaughter in high school, and then I have two little ones that are here at the Ross School.
Aha.
So I get to see them because they live close by.
And where is your other son?
My other son lives in Merrick, which is not
That's
so
not too
so
far.
far.
Not too far, yes.
So it's
Right.
keeps us
And
busy.
your husband still works?
My husband still works. He makes house calls. I told you.
Yeah. I just want to share it with the world.
Oh, okay. Did I not tell the world? All right. He makes house calls on people that can't get out of the house for whatever reason it is. Not necessarily old people, because there are many young people that have a kind of an affliction or whatever that they just can't leave the house. And as a result, he's able to send an X-ray machine to your house, or blood tests, or whatever you need, and
That's wonderful. That's
it's
a wonderful
very,
service.
very rewarding for him, and it is wonderful for the people. I mean, the families call up and, you know, is he really going to come tomorrow? Is it really going to happen? You know, these people are like, it really is a wonderful.
So when you married him, he was already a doctor?
He was already a doctor. He was in his training at Coney Island Hospital at that time.
So you didn't have to put him through medical school?
No, I wasn't the working kind.
So what, does he specialize in
His
anything?
specialty is family practice, which is very suitable for the kind of work that he does.
Yes, it is. I remember when a doctor came to my house when my daughter was sick once, but no such thing anymore.
No such
they
thing.
don't do that anymore. So did you ever do anything else, like besides paint, like
Well, I
any-
used to have a greenhouse, and I used to grow a lot of very interesting plants that I would collect. Now I'm very into orchids, but I have a very limited. I just have a few.
few?
A few, you know, like just maybe 10.
Do you have a big garden?
I don't. I actually live in a condo, so I have very limited space.
Oh.
But I try to have specimen things. I try, you know, people used to give me old plants or sick plants, and I had all kinds of plants. Now I'm much more discriminating.
But
And I just
so you
use
have
it
a
for-
lot of knowledge about
Yes,
plants.
I do have a lot of
All right, it's good to know because I know absolutely nothing. I mean, when was that? Last year I bought 2 trees that I planted. One was like an evergreen, the other is a lilac. I love it, and it seems like the lilac died. Just like for a year it was growing, and then everything is just, there's no more green on it.
Well, maybe you should cut it back.
I did. I
All the
cut it
way.
all, and it's still brown.
Did you find any green in the branches?
Not anymore. I don't know. I think maybe just something happened. Well, anyway, I'm going to see what happens next spring, if anything comes up. If not, then
Well, maybe you could tell the grower and see, perhaps it was in the wrong place in the garden, perhaps it didn't get the right amount of water, perhaps it got too much water, and why don't you ask them?
I'm going to ask you.
You're going to ask me, well, I don't know where it is in your garden, what
Well,
kind of
I
light
will
it
show
gets.
you, and if I need to buy a new one, I'll go with you, and you'll help me.
That would be, I would be happy to do
See,
that.
I just never know who I know.
Right, I would be happy to do that.
So I just met you at a meeting in Julie Radner's house,
Right.
with Ellen's Run. And that's all I know about you, Ellen's Run. I didn't know anything about it. So what do you do? How long have you been doing
I've been
that?
involved with Ellen's Run probably for 7 or 8 years. I'm
Wow.
good friends with Julie. I believe in what she does. I believe in what we do as a community effort. I believe that, you know, we do a lot of wonderful things for the hospital. We just bought a mammotone machine. We provide a lot of services to the hospital that they might not necessarily get otherwise. It's a grassroots community, a grassroots organization, and a lot of wonderful people. I mean, there's such a strong support group. It's utterly amazing, the love that's in that group.
Yes, and in case somebody doesn't know what Ellen's Run is,
Okay.
it's a foundation, support for breast cancer.
It's a wellness group, really, to support families that have someone in their family that's been afflicted with breast cancer, to help them get through those trying times. We're not into research, or we're not into anything like that. We're into helping the family get through the difficult time that they have.
Which is very important.
Absolutely.
Very, very important. So I don't see you all year. Does it mean you don't live out here?
No, I don't go to Florida because my husband works.
Oh.
We take vacations, but we don't go to Florida. We're not snowbirds.
You're not snowbirds.
I wouldn't miss a winter in the Hamptons. Actually, it's my favorite time of year.
Yes.
It's just so crisp. I go to New York every Monday, and I play bridge in New York.
Is that why you go to play bridge?
I have a bridge partner who comes from Staten Island, and she meets me in the city, and we spend a couple of hours, we have dinner, and we play bridge, and then
Just the two of you?
Well, we go to a bridge club.
Oh.
And then I come back. But it's very exciting to come back here. When the bus comes and I get off the bus, the crispness of the car, it's just a wonderful feeling. But I get that same that same surge when the bus makes that turn on 34th Street.
Oh.
I mean, I get that same feeling of empowerment. It's a wonderful, both ways.
I rarely go to New York, but sometimes when I do, I take the jitney.
Oh, I wouldn't.
And then
It's wonderful.
when it comes back here, I'm so happy to be back here. Yes, to me, I mean, there was a time I lived in New York, but it was nothing like today. Today, it's just so busy that you can't even walk. You bump into people if you want to walk fast.
No, especially this time of year.
And yet people love to live there. They love to live there. Well, I guess you have to be young and ambitious and looking forward. And
having never lived in a big city like that, I can't imagine what it would be like, you know, not to have green around you, not to have flowers or plants or trees around you. But I guess one gives up one for another. In my case, it would be very difficult to give up a tree.
So from Brooklyn, you came to Southampton. Straight, and you never moved since?
No.
You live in that condo?
Yes.
Is that where you raised your children?
No, I raised my children in Brooklyn.
Oh, in Brooklyn.
We're only here about 8 years.
Oh, you're only here 8 years.
My husband closed his office in Canarsie, and we needed a place to go. We weren't going to go to Florida, so we came here.
And how did you find this place?
Well, that's a good question. Actually, I have a son who lives here. And he's also a physician, and his group is Southampton Radiology. So that's another way I came to Julie Ratner, because of his involvement, and he's very active in Ellen's Run as well.
Oh. Is he in that complex near the hospital?
No, he's in the hospital.
Oh, he's in the hospital.
Southampton Radiology.
That's really nice. And how did he find the Hamptons?
Well, he finished his training. He trained at Sinai, and then he did his fellowship at Sloan Kettering. He was offered a position out here, and he wanted to get away from the city, I think. So he came out here.
Good choice.
And I think he's
and
pleased.
And you followed him.
And we found we needed a place to go, so.
Yes.
I'd never heard of we had never been to the Hamptons before he came.
Oh.
We were golfers, and we were in, and again, my husband worked all the time, so. We didn't have weekends that we couldn't get away weekends, because he he visited his patients in the hospital.
And now you have more time.
Now we have much more time.
So you play golf?
I play golf in West Hampton Beach.
Oh, do you go to the theater over there?
We go to the theater there. We also go to the theater in Manhattan. I have quite a busy schedule.
Oh, that's...
I try to take part of all good things while I can.
Exactly. Well, you can. I'm the same way. I'm not going to slow down until, I'm going to do everything I wanted to do.
Absolutely.
So, but you like to stage, but were you ever on stage?
No, of course not.
Never?
No, I always wanted to be a movie star, but I never was.
That's as far as you went that you wanted to be?
Right.
You never made a movie or?
No.
Nothing?
No.
So you're just watching everybody else doing it?
Right.
So do you ever go, which theater you like out here?
I love Sarah Honeywell, and I love what she does at the Hampton Theater Company.
Isn't that wonderful?
And last night, I'm surprised you weren't there, we were at the Naked Stage.
That's where I wanted to go, and I forgot.
It is so, I just can't tell you what a wonderful place that is. And they're going to have another play next Tuesday night.
Oh, I hope you could call me to remind me.
I'm going to call, absolutely, I'm going to call and remind you, because it's just the camaraderie and the love and the devotion that they have, the passion that they have. It's just so invigorating to see such passion for something.
Well, I used to go to every one of their functions. I don't know why. I'm just so
I will personally be responsible.
I was there the very first time when they started it.
Really?
And I had 2 of my plays read there.
How exciting.
And then last year also I had a part of my play read.
Really?
And I just loved the Naked Stage. I don't know why. On the way driving here, I'm thinking, today is Wednesday, last Tuesday, and what did I do? I wanted to go, and I didn't. Well, anyway, I'm glad that you're one of the fans. I know another lady from another group, and she also goes there all the time.
Josh Pearl, who's the one behind the Naked Stage, wants to put together a petition to start the NEA again, because the programs for the arts was so severely cut with this presidential administration that he's hoping with enough signatures, because remember what we can't remember, but we do know what the WPA did for artists in the late 30s, early 40s.
No, I don't know.
It was, if they paid artists to work.
Oh, no, they don't.
They don't do things like that anymore. And it was wonderful. That's how Jackson Pollock was able to survive. Both he and Lee got a check once a week. And of course, they could assign things for you to do, like you could have to paint a lamppost or you could do things like that. But the WPA was behind a lot of the arts, and a lot of good artists benefited. And our country benefited as well.
No, nowadays, everybody's doing things for nothing because they love the art, so they're doing it. But it would help if...
Well, you can't do it if you have to pay the rent.
Yes, I know. And all those wonderful actors that, with Sarah Honeywell, that's in the Quag.
She's wonderful.
I don't know if she pays them, but I went out there a few times. Now they have a very depressing place, so I don't want to see that.
I'm with you. But she does choose very well, and she's a very exciting person to be near.
Yes, I agree with that. And Josh Pearl and Josh Gladstone
is fantastic.
He is.
They're wonderful.
Yes, he acted in one of my plays.
Really?
He does everything.
Yes, well, he's a very talented guy.
Very, very, and he does everything so well.
Isn't he the director of Guildhall?
The artistic director of
I think so.
the John Drew Theater.
Right. I can't wait for it to open.
It's going to take a while.
Well, Josh said last night that the December 15th performance of The Naked Stage will be in the John Drew Theater.
Is that right?
That's what he said, so...
Well, I hope so.
But I'll call you for next Tuesday.
They did a total renovation. They dug it all out, and they did everything from scratch, so it took a while.
They said that it wasn't going to change a lot, that they were going to keep it to how it was.
They will, but still they had to take it down, and now they're putting it back. And now they're going to have nice seats.
Okay, that's good.
Because I remember, I always like to sit up front because I'm short, and the front seat, I was falling off. It was, but it was, I really like it there, and I want to go back. Because like you said, it's a very enthusiastic group, and it rubs off.
Absolutely. The enthusiasm is contagious.
Yes, yes. So, anybody in your family that you inherited this feeling for the arts, like your mother
I'm an
and
only
father?
child. No, I don't think so. My parents they came here in the late 20s, and they, settled in lower East New York. And they were very hard workers, and they didn't have time for such
luxuries.
That was a real luxury.
In the 20s, wow. Where did they come from?
They came from Russia, from Estonia, actually.
From who?
Estonia.
Estonia.
Which was part of Russia.
Oh. Oh, and you speak Russian?
No, I know 2 words maybe, but that's...
I know 3 words.
I used to listen in when my mother would talk to my aunt about a date that I had.
Oh.
So I know that a Malchik is a boy.
Oh. Dobre, that means good. Yeah, that's great. So you have a Russian origin.
Yes.
But you're American. You were born here.
I was born in Brooklyn.
You're a Brooklynite. See, that's really great to get to chat with you for this.
It was wonderful to be here.
It, like I always say, I don't know the people until they sit down and I interrogate them.
Oh, it's wonderful to be interrogated. And you have to come visit me at the Parish Art Museum. We have wonderful shows. We have a wonderful show right now.
I was there a couple of days ago.
Oh, were you at the film festival?
No, it wasn't a film. It was like they had people that were talking about how to promote your work.
Oh, how wonderful.
Did you know about that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, Josh came to speak to everybody.
At the parish?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's in Southampton.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's where
I did read about it. Yes, of course.
It was I met a lot of nice people. It was very helpful. And
did you enjoy the show, the photography show?
I didn't see it.
Okay.
And, well, this is the end. This is really the end, and I want to thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I want to thank everybody who helped me put this show on.
It was a pleasure to be here.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye. See you again next week. And I don't even know who's going to be my guest.
You have to do another one today.